Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply, and this video is to bring you a closer look at the Reese part number S245D. S245D. This is a 3-foot piece for a client. So S245, that means that this is a half saddle threshold. Hopefully the first thing that you notice is the first thing that I always notice with Reese. Look how thick the extrusion is. That's a hallmark of the Reese line. You're always going to enjoy, certainly on average, thicker extrusions. Always. That's just how they roll. Makes for a really high caliber piece of weather stripping is the bottom line. I think weather stripping very often is ordered, with economy as the driving point, but it should be quite the opposite. Thresholds take a beating, especially this one. This threshold is going to take a beating, certainly. This is an offset or a half saddle threshold, meaning that it's going to transition from 0 to something over here. Think of the gas station. You've got 2 aluminum doors that clients go in and out. You've got emergency exit, at least 1, probably just 1 would be my guess. For sure, one of those aluminum storefronts is going to take a lot of abuse with the milk delivery guy, the guy who delivers, beverages and spirits, 2-wheel hand carts that weigh 150 pounds, that sort of business. Having a thick threshold is really going to greatly benefit the situation. Now, a half saddle is going to be used in that scenario because you've got tile on the inside, and it's probably going to be basically 1/2 inch. You want to have your door frame sit inside of here. You want to transition to the exterior. You want to have a door sweep fit out here really nice. Okay. It's going to allow you to transition, it's going to allow you to seal, and it's going to do so in such a way that's quite robust, thick, and substantial and up to the task. The S245 there is an image down below showing the dimensional properties of the item. You can see from that it's 5-inch wide and that it is 1/2 inch thick. And I'll tell you, this threshold, for being a piece of aluminum, you wouldn't believe it, but it weighs 3.91 pound. It's basically 1.25 pounds per foot. It's just aluminum, 1/2 inch. Okay, you have a 1/4 inch web over here, going to allow you to support back at the end. The D in the part number, well, that stands for dark bronze. This is a gorgeous dark bronze finish from the manufacturer. Nobody does dark bronze when you are trying to emulate oil rub bronze or a light, not a light bronze, but a medium, rich brown bronze that is not black, not dark bronze. There are aluminum storefront manufacturers who have some stuff that's really dark, if not black. This is certainly not black. This little area down here in my desktop, which you can barely but see, that's black, and you can see how this is, you're not really able to see that. The point of the matter is you can see from the reflectivity of the light above, and while it does lighten it beyond what it really is, that's a pretty true representation. Okay, that is not black. The point is if you're looking for weather stripping that is going to match black or the aluminum storefront people that make very dark bronze, this is not a good choice. If you're looking to match oil rub bronze, this is the best choice possible. This will be on the light end. Other manufacturers have stuff that's on the darker end. So be mindful of that. I've had people call and say, yeah, the Reese weather stripping, it's really great, but it doesn't match. What color is your aluminum storefront? Well, it's dark bronze. Yeah, I mean, there's variations of that. And the video is really to help show you what Reese's D finish looks like so that you can select accordingly. If you had a really dark oil storefront and you cared what it looked like, I'd probably steer away from this only because of that reason. But if you're not so concerned about the color being as close as possible, I would absolutely use Reese in that installation. And I use Reese exclusively when I have a no-spec job, meaning there's no specifications. The client says, this is what I want. Use your experience as a door and hardware professional to send me a bill of materials that I can solve my problem. I will always use Reese because their ability to do those, what I would call high-profile sort of openings, where the material is incredibly robust and absolutely up to the task with thicker extrusions. Anyway, so this is what the D finish looks like. There is a link below this video to the product brochure where you can see the the S245. You'll notice that there's an A, that's mill aluminum finish. You'll notice that there's a D, and that is dark bronze. The B is going to be a different animal altogether. The B stands for architectural brass or architectural bronze. I would call it architectural bronze. I understand that that's the right way to call it. It's an alloy of 4 different base materials that people call brass. It's literally solid brass. Not aluminum. This is aluminum. The A and the D finish are base material aluminum. You can only imagine what the cost would be for a B item. And then onto that B, the solid bronze, you can do mill, which is the natural bronze or brass, satin, polished, oil rubbed, etc. That would be used in installations where you're literally building a $4 million house and you're not using aluminum on the thresholds. That's just the bottom line. You're also going to use it in a high-profile installation, a 5-star hotel on the Gulf Coast of Florida, where you're not going to install aluminum on all the pairs of doors that go from the main exterior courtyard area, literally where weddings are conducted, into the banquet hall area. You're not going to put aluminum out there. You can, but in those applications, they're using architectural bronze for those applications. We just supplied, or are right now supplying, about 15 thresholds that are going to Europe in a home that's several, might be a couple of tens of millions of dollars. They're using architectural bronze. It has its place. You're not going to use architectural bronze in a home because the threshold's going to cost $150 a foot. And while have at it, just, the right tool for the right job. This is going to be, solid bronze will be used where durability is mandatory, like to last 100 years. Aluminum will not. But it's also used in proportion to the overall project and the caliber of the project. Okay. Now, this will be, and on that product link, that product catalog, you'll see the other sizes of half saddles that are available there. The S245 is not the only profile of a 5-inch. They also have an S285 that's also 5x1/2, and then other sizes are there. There's also a link to a document called Installation. Very generic document. I'm not going to get into it. It basically is measure, cut the length, install, that sort of business. Now, this is listed in the website in lots of different lengths where you can order the size that you need, or just order whatever size is listed. If you have need for a custom length, by all means let us know by ordering the next longest piece or pieces, and simply indicate in the comment field the net length that you'd like for us to cut the material back to. The reasoning is, well, you might not want to cut down a piece of threshold like this. You may not have a saw to do it, or the time or the desire. Great. If you need a 38-inch length, or let's say a 40-inch length, because you're going to do a 3-foot door, and you want to literally cope the item and have the legs run long across the face of the jamb. One thing I like to do, northern climates where they're throwing salt out in the parking lot in the winter, I like to protect the base of that jamb a little bit, and I would come back and cope around the profile of the frame. I might consider doing that. But the point is, if you have need for a custom length, order the next longest piece or pieces and simply indicate in the comment field the net length you'd like for us to cut the material back to, and we'll be happy to do that. Save you the trouble of cutting this relatively thick aluminum, and the distance from the end to that first countersink will be appropriate, spaced correctly as well. Speaking of those countersinks, screws are included in a complimentary finish. Now, finally, there is a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Reese products that we sell, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. I'm incredibly partial to Reese because the quality is superior, and I personally, in my business, in our industry, where it's not as much storefront related, but it is related to doors, steel doors and frames, in that we're doing architectural or builder's hardware in oil-rubbed bronze finish, a 613 finish. The Reese material matches that material far better than people trying to match aluminum storefront. So I think that's why I prefer it, because in our industry, we're not selling, aluminum, dark bronze anodized aluminum hardware. We're selling oil-rubbed bronze hardware. That's probably why. And plus, their technical support people over at Reese are superior. Any questions on the S245D, half saddle threshold, or any other Reese product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.